Hi, welcome to your health and safety orientation for your Sanford Abroad program. Today we're going to be covering a few things related to health and safety. First, we will talk about your Alert Traveler app. This is a requirement for all travelers who are leaving to go abroad internationally with Sanford University. Then we'll talk about the insurance coverage that has been purchased for you, how that works, what it covers, what it doesn't cover. And then finally, we'll go through several safety tips, ways to keep yourself healthy and safe while you're abroad. First and foremost, our Alert Traveler app. In order for this app to work while you're abroad, and it is a requirement, you need to have an international cell phone. I'll be talking later in the presentation about how to set that up if you're unsure, and you can also always ask questions of our office if you're having trouble getting something set up to be able to use while you're abroad. This would have been a requirement that you saw in your application. So here's an example application for a program going abroad. You can see that 10 of the 11 requirements for this particular program have been completed. You can always see completed requirements here at the bottom, pre-decision requirements beneath that. But this final offline requirement is still there. The circle has not been completed because there's this offline requirement that they, as they call it, because you will be directed to go off the site onto your cell phone in order to activate Alert Traveler. So right here you'll just click Alert Traveler, and that is going to take you to a page of instructions that will explain what you need to do to download the app and install it on whatever kind of device you have. If you have traveled with us before, you may already be activated, and you can just click here to be able to send a notification to your app showing that you're going to be traveling with us again. However, if you are new to Alert Traveler, you will want to click here, and it will take you to a link with all of the instructions so that you can log on. Once you've followed all the instructions and been able to install the Alert Traveler app and open it successfully on your phone, your home screen will look something like this, where you will see an SOS button down in the bottom right corner. Should you ever need assistance immediately, you can always open the app and press that. But you'll see this is also showing where you are located using GPS, so that the program can notify you if there's any sort of situation that might impact your health or safety in a certain proximity to your location. It will send you alerts, it will give you notifications. Your program leader can also use this in order to check in, ask you to check in to make sure that everything has gone well. It's going well. So again, if you can't remember, this is right here in your application. Under the offline requirements, you should be able to click there to activate this. If you have any problems or any concerns with the Alert Traveler activation, please reach out to us right away. We are absolutely here to help. Okay, so that's Alert Traveler. We are going to talk about your insurance next, but before we do that, I did just want to cover a couple of other pre-departure things that you might want to consider or take care of. Notify your credit card company of your travel dates. As you may know, when credit card companies see unusual activity on your credit card, they can often freeze those accounts, and you certainly don't want that to happen to you while you're abroad. You can also bring a backup credit card that you could store separately from your wallet with your primary credit card, just in case of emergencies. We also recommend having copies of all of these things that you keep somewhere else, so that if you were to lose your credit card or your wallet, you would still have access to that information. It's much easier to replace them if you have that with you. Check your cell phone service to make sure you have an international calling plan. That's something that can be added. But if you would rather have a phone unlocked so that you could put in a new SIM card, that's a second option. It's usually the cheaper, but might be more difficult, especially for short-term travel or if your phone is not unlocked. If you have any questions about that, you can certainly talk with your cell phone provider. As I was just saying about your credit card, please also print copies of your passport, your travel itinerary, any other important documents, and keep those stored in a separate safe place. Health insurance has been purchased for you through GeoBlue. That insurance card should have been mailed to you from the company. If you have not received that yet, please be on the lookout. If you don't think you've received it and you should have, please be in touch with me so that I can provide that information for you. You'll want to make sure you have access to that insurance card as you travel, so either save it to your phone or print a copy of it to take and have with you. You'll also need to register as a member. You can do that on the site or download the app and install that on your phone. Instructions for doing that should have been included in your email. You'll definitely want to know how to contact the Global Health and Safety team while you're abroad. Again, material has been provided to help you do that, but if you have any questions, let me know. Perhaps the most important thing to say is that if you have a medical condition, please contact GeoBlue prior to departure so that they can help create a plan. We're going to be talking about some aspects of that, but they are the real experts and would be happy to sit down with you and talk through any concerns you have. If you take prescription medicines, make sure you bring enough for the entire stay in their original containers and carried in your carry-on luggage. Do not check your prescription medicines in your checked luggage. And of course, any liquids need to be in quantities that follow security guidelines. This is very important. Your family cannot mail prescriptions to you, so make sure you have taken them with you. For any medicine that you're traveling with, please bring a doctor's note that describes the medicine in terms of its dosage, its name, why you're taking it, just in case you should be stopped and questioned for why you're carrying that information. You will have your doctor's documentation. Certain medications like ADHD meds are actually considered controlled substances, and you may not be able to get a 3-month supply in advance. That's why it's great to contact GeoBlue prior to departure so that they can help you in securing the meds you're going to need. Additionally, you'll want to make sure that your prescriptions are available and legal in the countries you plan to visit. You should know the generic name of your medications. Some medications go by different names in different countries. The GeoBlue app and Member Hub can help you with looking up those medication equivalents, so make sure you take advantage of that. This might seem obvious, but please do bring glasses and enough contacts for your stay. And we highly recommend that you bring preferred brands of your non-prescription medicines. Some over-the-counter medicines aren't available in other countries, or maybe brands you're not familiar with. So if you know that you have non-prescription medicines that you take regularly, you also might want to bring those, even though that's not a prescription. This is also not a prescription, the first aid kit, but it would be a good idea to have one while you're traveling. So how is medical care going to work while you're abroad? Should you need to schedule an appointment, there is a list of participating medical, dental, and mental health care providers at the GeoBlue student website, but also via the app if you've chosen to put that on your phone. If you know in advance that you're going to have an appointment, please take advantage of the direct pay option. 48 hours before your visit, you can request to have a secure cashless access to your care by having the payment sent to the medical provider. When you see your provider, that issued guarantee of payment will have been sent and be available in your app or online at the Member Hub. Still be sure to keep all your receipts just in case something goes wrong and you have to pay up front and file a claim for reimbursement. Of course, if you're experiencing an emergency, please go immediately to the nearest physician or hospital. You don't need to try and set up direct pay or advanced appointments. Go directly to a hospital or physician and then call the GeoBlue 24/7 Global Health and Safety number to let them know what is going on. You also have the option of using a telemed service through GeoBlue for virtual appointments. So if you don't want to set up an appointment with a local physician, you can do this. It's usually same day by phone or video call, and all of those instructions again are in your materials. For prescriptions, you will pay up front. This works different than appointments. You will have to pay up front for the prescriptions that you're obtaining in your host country, file a claim, and be reimbursed by paper check. Just another reason we ask that you take enough medication for your entire stay. Best practice is to inform your facilitator of any medical treatment that you're seeking out. It's just so important for them to know how you're feeling, the advice you've been receiving concerning your health, and obviously if you're going to miss activities as part of your program, they need to be made aware of this. So that's some information about how your insurance works and what it does cover, but I have a little thought experiment for you. You're standing at the top of a beautiful cliff looking down over the ocean, and a shady guy comes up to you with a rather sketchy looking hang glider and says, "Would you like to jump off this cliff?" Well, when you do a Wile E. Coyote down into the ocean, I just need you to know that, bam, you're not going to be covered by your insurance. GeoBlue does not cover certain injuries sustained while you partake in certain activities. So take a look at this list and just try and keep yourself out of harm's way and be smart about the situations that you put yourself in. We certainly don't want you to be in an accident, in an activity that your insurance will not cover. A final note about your health insurance. If you plan to travel before or after your program, just know that you will also not be covered by GeoBlue. It only covers the official dates of your program. You can extend your coverage, however, and purchase more coverage for dates before or after your program. There are a few ways to do that. First, go to this website where you can self-enroll online using the code that is provided there for you. Since you are currently enrolled, you'll just be extending by selecting Renew and following the prompts there. If you don't have that information in front of you, you can feel free to pause this presentation again to write it down. Just know that it is always housed at abroad.sanford.edu under the Health and Safety tab, International Health Insurance. The link is always there. So I have some additional questions for you to consider as you're thinking about travel abroad. What are the types of emergencies that you could face? The more you can think about this now and plan ahead, maybe even write out some scenarios and what you would do in the face of them, I think the better prepared you will be. Obviously, your faculty leaders are doing this as well and will be there to help you to respond to emergencies. But knowing how you individually will respond is a really helpful pre-departure idea. And as I've been speaking to the insurance, there are potentially dangerous situations that you need to think about now and plan on the ways that you're going to avoid those. For example, try and avoid the loud and obnoxious American tourist stereotype. You want to try and have a low-key profile, so do not be this guy wearing baseball caps or flashy clothing or shirts that have obvious American logos will make you a target. So try not to draw attention to yourself in these ways. Consider dressing like a local. You might want to wait and buy a few items of clothing, a coat, or shoes after you have arrived so that you will more easily fit into your surroundings. Again, I hate putting them on the slide because I think they're adorable, but I am putting a red X on them because doing things like this will, again, mark you as someone who is an easy target. So make sure that you don't store any items in an outer or back pocket, especially your passport. Your passport is your most valuable possession while you are abroad. So I advise keeping it in a hotel safe and not carrying it with you at all if you're able. Beware of ATM scams. Try and use ATMs inside of buildings whenever possible, and just be very cognizant of your surroundings when you're engaging with an ATM. Carry very limited cash, and certainly don't flash cash around. As we mentioned earlier, make sure you photocopy all your credit cards in case they are lost and stolen, and leave a copy of that with your emergency contact. There is no need to volunteer information to strangers. Even if they approach you to ask what you're doing, how large your group is, where you're staying, do not engage. Conceal your phone when not in use, and don't walk and text at the same time. If you look confused, again, you will be a more easy target. So if you need to consult a map, step inside a store, you can now get wireless Bluetooth headphones so that you could listen to directions as you're walking instead of having to have your phone out and looking at it as you're trying to find a destination. As I keep saying, pickpockets are just looking for people who are sticking out because they're distracted, and they may then try and distract you by working in teams. Stick to well-lit areas and avoid walking alone when possible. Be sure to note the time public transportation closes and have a way home if you're going to be staying out past that time. Use Uber or licensed black cab if you're in London, and don't let a stranger direct. Despite all of our precautions, theft or loss of property is a potential issue. Just remember that, as I said, your passport is your most valuable possession, so try and keep it as secure as possible. But should it or anything else be stolen or lost while you are abroad, make sure you report that immediately to your group leader. And also, if applicable, contact the local police. If you don't know the local emergency numbers, take an opportunity right now to record these into your phone, depending on where you might be traveling. Or if your destination is not listed here, please take time to look that up and to have it in your phone. So once you've talked to your group leader, contacted the local police, if it is a passport issue, the consulate or embassy can help you replace that. GeoBlue insurance can also help. They do not, however, cover the cost associated with loss of property or theft, including replacing your passport. That can be quite costly, so again, keep your passport safe. And fourth, make sure you contact the GEO if we can be of any assistance to you if you find yourself in this situation. We are happy to assist with anything you're going to face abroad. Unfortunately, an area that we do need to discuss in terms of health and safety is sexual assault. I have some safety tips to share with you. None of these are revolutionary or completely probably unfamiliar to you, but it is worth reminding ourselves of the things we can do to keep ourselves safe. Always be alert. Go and come home with a group of friends. So wherever you are, it is important to think about routes of travel, what is around you, and how you can make sure you are staying to a safe place. If you have to go somewhere alone, which we do not recommend, do make sure that friends know where you're going and when they can expect you to return. Always keep your drink with you. It's advice we have heard, but it is very important. So make sure you're mindful of anything that you're eating and drinking or who has given it to you. Remember, you have a right to say no at any point. And finally, leave any situation that seems suspicious to you. If you are sexually assaulted, please report it right away to your group leader, local police, and the Sanford GEO. We are all here to support you and to make sure you get the help and care that you need. Do know that under Title IX, Sanford University faculty are required to report these incidences. And obviously, go to the hospital immediately should you need any treatment or further support. In the event of natural disaster, fire, violent activity, make sure you go to the designated meeting place that your faculty leader has arranged with you ahead of time. If your faculty leader hasn't provided you that information, please be in touch with them and make sure that they are thinking about ways to coordinate and communicate during any of this type of activity. You'll want to contact your group leader as soon as possible. If you are involved in any of these situations, and then please do contact your guardian or your emergency contact if you're able, and let them know that you are safe. Your group leader should be contacting the GEO, and the GEO can contact your emergency contact or guardian in the case that you aren't available. Just know that while you're abroad, you may be feeling indicators of culture shock that you were perhaps not expecting. They can include things of feeling lonely or depressed, or even feeling helpless. You might be sleeping more than usual, or be thinking of your host culture in stereotypical ways. There are ways that you can manage this stress before you depart. Create a wellness plan. Think about the things you've done in the past that were successful at relieving stress, and how you might maintain those techniques while you are abroad. If you have routines for sleep, exercise, or hobbies that you include in your life, try to maintain those while you are traveling. If attending a local church was part of your routine at home, try and locate one and make sure you engage in that activity as well. If you're experiencing symptoms of mental health issues, please talk with a friend, family member, or your faculty leader about how you are feeling. And do know that the GeoBlue plan gives you access to Global Wellness Assist. It's a free and confidential counseling service available 24/7. 6 sessions are included for free, and that can be initiated. So that's all the information that I have to share with you today. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. While it might have felt like a long presentation, I guarantee you that there was much more that I could have said. So if you have any questions or areas that I haven't covered that you'd like to talk about, please feel free to reach out to me, Jennifer Lackey. You can see my email and my office phone number on the screen.